Do you ever feel like there's not enough hours in the day to finish everything that you need to? Do you ever find that you focus on the smaller tasks or just answering emails rather than focusing on the big important projects that will really make a difference? In this video, I discuss how I keep on top of all my tasks using the power of a Kanban board and how I combine that with a calendar, and how I use this system to focus on the exciting projects that really matter. Hi, I'm Sam, and I explore systems that help us achieve more than we ever thought was possible. My nephew recently got his first phone, and I asked him whether he used the calendar app on his phone, and he said, nah, my mum just tells me what I need to do. And this is the same when we start school. Our entire day is mapped out for us. We're told where we need to be at what time. And then when we're adults, we're suddenly thrust into this world where we need to figure out what to do, when to do it, and what to prioritize. When I started out in the world of work, I used to have a physical to-do list, and I would cross things off throughout the day and then rewrite all the outstanding actions the following day on a fresh pad of paper. There's something quite magical about writing with physical bits of paper and crossing them off. But because I love technology, I quickly moved on to trying lots of different apps and online productivity tools. The first one that I used loads was an app called Wunderlist, which doesn't exist anymore. But then I discovered the power of Kanban boards, which I still use to this day. In this video, I explore what a Kanban board is, how I use a Kanban board to get things done, how I combine it with my calendar, and how you make sure you spend time on the most important thing. So firstly, what is a Kanban board? The Kanban board originated in the 1940s in Toyota, the car company, as a visual management tool to help increase efficiency in the car factory. It was invented by a Toyota engineer called Taichi Ono. Ono was inspired by how supermarkets worked. He noticed that when stock was low, then the supermarket would order more goods, and he wanted to apply this in the car factory. So Ono and his team introduced the idea of Kanban in the factory. Kanban means visual card in Japanese. They implemented this system using cards along the production line to signal the need for particular parts. Each card would represent a specific item that was needed and its quantity. Over the years, the Kanban methodology expanded into lots of other areas like project management and software development. I use an app called Trello, which is free to use for most basic users. At a very basic level, Trello allows you to create cards with tasks on and organize these tasks in lists. In Trello, you have boards, so you might choose to have a board that has all of your work tasks, you might choose to have one for home, or you might choose to have a different board for every project. Personally, I like to keep things simple, so I try to have everything on one board. I find that having too many boards with too many tasks can get a bit overwhelming. Think of the cards a bit like post-it notes. So they've got really simple information, but you can open each card to add more information if you need to. So how do I set up my Kanban board to get things done? There's no right or wrong way of using a Kanban board. This is my current setup. Firstly, I have an inbox column, and the inbox is where I will store any new items. This might be something that comes from my email inbox, a task that someone gives me verbally, an idea I have, or just a realization that I need to add a new task. Each night I'll review the inbox and I'll figure out what is a priority to action the next day. I will then drag items from the inbox column into my next column, which is called next actions. Once it's in there, I will put these actions into my actual calendar. By doing that, it feels more real that I've allocated time in my day to make sure that task happens and gets done. When I've completed the task, I'll drag it into my done column. I also have a waiting for column. So if I've emailed someone about something or I'm waiting for someone to do something, it's all in the waiting for column. I also have a someday maybe column. This is for actions that don't need to be done anytime soon. They might be bigger dreams that you've not started yet, or they might be things that are just not as important right now. If you click on a card, you can add more information to it. Its due date. You can even add a checklist or attachments to it. This can be really useful if the task relates to reading a document or editing a document. You can easily just add the Google Doc link to the card. You can also add labels to your cards. I don't do this because again it adds another layer of complexity, but you might find that useful. And then you could use the filter tool to filter all cards with a specific label or a specific due date. One of the most important parts of this whole system is the weekly review. Each week, block some time in your calendar to review your inbox and move actions into the next action column. Move anything that is not so important right now into the someday maybe column. Review your waiting for list and see if you need to chase anybody up about anything. And review your calendar to make sure you're focusing on the right things. You can also use this time to clear any random documents that you might have on your desktop or in your downloads folder, and spend a bit of time reviewing your bigger goals to make sure you are making progress towards them and not just the smaller ones. It's important to dedicate time each day at the beginning of the day before you open your inbox or start work on anything else to focus on your most important thing. So put an hour in the diary each morning, block that out and make sure that time is protected to focus on your book or your big project or your passion, something that you want to move forward. And it's amazing how much you can get done just by spending an hour a day on anything. As Darren Hardy said, you only need to take a series of tiny steps consistently over time to radically improve your life. The starting point for this whole system is the inbox. If you want to know how to keep a clear inbox and stay productive, you'll love my video on Inbox Zero, which is here. Thanks for watching. Love you. Bye.